Hi again. Today in our literacy lesson, we're going to start off with a phonics activity. So we're going to be looking at the letters U, R, E, which together make the your or yer sound. So we're going to think about some words, and I want you to see if you can spell these words. So you'll need a piece of paper and a pencil. Pause the video if you don't have that at the moment. And then when you've got those, we're going to have a go at spelling 4 different words with that sound. So the first word I'd like to spell is the word pure. Pure. The second word I'd like to spell is the word secure. To make sure you're secure, you need to put your seatbelt on in the car. Secure. Okay, the next word I'd like to spell is the word picture. Picture. I drew a lovely picture of a dog. Picture. And the fourth word is the word unsure. I'm unsure what to do, so I need to ask for help. Unsure. Okay, let's check your spellings to see if you got them right. So the first word was the word pure, which is p, your, pure. The second word was the word secure, to secure yourself in the car with a seatbelt. S, e, k, your, secure. The third word was the word picture. P, I, k, t, your, picture. And finally, the last word I asked you to spell was the word unsure. I'm unsure what to do. I'm not sure. You're unsure. How many of those did you get right? Did you manage to get all 4? If not, maybe you need to go back to the DB Primary Phonics at Home page and have a look at the Your video again. So today, we are going to be reading and understanding a non-chronological report. So to be successful in today's lesson, we're going to see if we can use some reading strategies to help us decode words. We're going to see if we can understand the features of a non-chronological report. We're going to see if we can find information by using subheadings and keywords. And we're going to see if we can give evidence to support an answer to our question. So not just guessing, not just saying, oh, I think the answer is this, but finding that evidence in the text and using it to help us to support our answers. So we're going to have a look at our text together. So I'm just going to get the text up for you. And this text is called Mexican Mayhem. Let's read some of the information together. Mexico is a country in the continent of North America. However, it is in the middle of this continent. To get there from England, you will need to travel over 5,000 miles. The quickest and best way to arrive is by traveling in a plane. Although like any country, there can be a few problems, overall, Mexico is a fantastic place to visit. If you get the chance, go and see what all the fuss is about. Now we've got the first subheading here, which says, what clothes are worn in Mexico? Like many developed countries, people wear modern clothes like me and you. However, many people have been known to wear ponchos, large hats called sombreros, as well as brightly coloured clothes. And you can see on that side there, on the right-hand side, there's a picture of people wearing traditional Mexican clothes. It says, typical Mexican clothes are very colourful. Let's scroll down and read some more. The purple box here says, did you know? Mexico is a very popular place to visit for beach lovers. It has warm crystal blue waters and white pearly sand. A pleasure for sunbathers. The next one underneath that says, what attractions are there in Mexico? As well as the wonderful beaches, there are many famous attractions to see. For instance, ancient ruins, museums, Tulum, and Chichen Itza, which I think we learned a little bit about last week. On the right-hand side, the subheading says, what are the buildings like in Mexico? In Mexico City alone, there are around 2,000 buildings. Some of these are very tall, others are extremely colourful, so pleasant to look at. And then it says buildings of many different colours, and then that's the caption underneath the picture there. Finally, we've got our glossary, which says pleasure, which is a feeling of happiness and satisfaction, and continent, which is a group of countries. You might have noticed in the text that those words were put in bold because they are in the glossary, and the glossary tells you what those words mean. And then finally, on the left-hand side here, there's a picture here of a cenote, and it's called Cenote Ixquill, a cave without a ceiling. It says, Mr. Fitzsimmons has been here and says it was freezing cold. It really was. So let's go back to the presentation and we will have a go at answering some questions together. So the first practice question says, what would you do with a poncho? Now, if I was looking at the text, I would need to find the word poncho. So can we see the word poncho? Let me have a read through and see if we can find, we're looking for at the beginning of a word. Oh, no, it's plain. Let's keep looking, it's not there. It's not there. Oh, people. Oh, ponchos, here we go. It says, however, many people have been known to wear ponchos. Ah, so a poncho is a type of clothing. So the question said, what would you do with a poncho? So I think if I was answering that question, I would say, wear it. That's enough detail, isn't it? Because this is a read lesson, it's not a writing lesson. So I don't need to include a full sentence. I don't need to say a poncho would need to be worn or anything like that. I just need to say what you would do with a poncho. And the answer is wear it. Let's look at question 2. What does the phrase a pleasure for sunbathers mean? Now I think the word pleasure might have been in the glossary. So let's just have a look at that again. The glossary is down the bottom. Pleasure is a feeling of happiness and satisfaction. So where did it say a pleasure for? Oh, pleasure. Pearly white sand, a pleasure for sunbathers. Well, if it's a pleasure, that means that it's something which is really good, really lovely for people. And sunbathers are people who want to go and lie in the sun to get a nice tan. So a pleasure for sunbathers must be that it's the perfect place to go if you would like to get yourself a tan. So I think that's answered that question now. Finally, question number 3. Do you think Mexico would be a nice place to visit? Use the text to support your answer. Now for this one, I need to answer with a yes or a no. Do I think that it would be a nice place to visit? So I need a yes because or a no because. And I need to think about what was in the text that makes me think that it would be either a nice place to visit or not a nice place to visit. So again, let's go back to the text. And do you know what? Looking at that picture there, I know I've been there personally, but if you haven't been to Mexico and you haven't seen this cenote, I think it looks really beautiful, don't you? So maybe my answer to that question might be yes, because the cenote looks beautiful and I'd really like to swim in it. You could say no, because I think the clothes look a bit strange and I don't want to see that. It's up to you, isn't it? Because you're giving an opinion about what you think would be good or not good about being in Mexico. Now today, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to answer the questions using the text to help you. So I've given you a copy of that text on DB Primary and some questions for you to have a go at answering as well. There are 2 levels of difficulty with the questions. There's an easy set and there is a challenge set. I'm expecting most of you will want to have a go at the challenge set, but if you're finding it a little bit difficult, then maybe have a go at the easy ones instead. Make sure you read the question first so that you know what you're looking for when you're reading the text. And remember, don't guess. Make sure that you use the text to help you answer the question. There's no point guessing because all of the answers are in the text to help you. And if you're not sure, maybe just leave that question out and come back to it later on when you've had a chance to think.